Hi folks, we're going to take a look at LayerZero. What we're going to do is we're going to deploy a contract to the Sepolia testnet, and we're also going to deploy a contract to the Mumbai Polygon testnet. Then we're going to interact with the Sepolia contract, and it's going to pass a string from that contract through the LayerZero message passing, and it's going to land on the contract that we've deployed to Mumbai. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our Foundry project. So forge init to initialize it. And make this a bit bigger so we can see everything. We're then going to install, we're going to need two batches of contracts. We're going to need the LayerZero contracts, which is LayerZero Labs. Oh, Labs Solidity examples. That's correct. That'll take a second to install. Then we're also going to need the Open Zeppelin contracts because forge install Open Zeppelin. Okay. I'm just going to paste in our remappings to remap to our lib folder here. This LayerZero contract goes to lib slash a solidity example slash contracts, and then Open Zeppelin goes to lib Open Zeppelin contracts. Create an env file. Open that. And again, I'm just going to paste in. So our env file is going to look like this. You're going to have your own Sepolia RPC URL. This is the Sepolia endpoint, so yours should be the same as that. The Polygon Mumbai RPC URL, you'll have your own one. Again, log into infura.io and get your own ones for these. And that's the Mumbai LayerZero endpoint. What we're going to do is when we deploy the Sepolia contract, it's going to go here. And when we deploy the Mumbai contract, it's going to go here. Again, my private key is going to go here. Your one, you'll be able to get out of MetaMask or however you've generated it. Paste it in there. I'm just going to I'll be using a burner anyway, but I'm just going to try and keep it secret. Okay. Okay, so for the contract, I'm going to create two files. One source called Omni message underscore Sepolia. That's all. Then I'm going to create a second one called same thing, but with Mumbai at the end, just to differentiate them. So there, we could deploy the same contract and just change it, but we'll just do two. Okay. Delete the script, test, and counter files here. One, this one. Okay. So I'm just going to open the Sepolia one first of all. Okay. Now, I'll put this in the description, but I'm copying the bulk of the file, a bulk of our contract from Stormbrew on GitHub. So he has this contract on GitHub, and I'm gonna make a few changes to it now. First thing I'm gonna do is we're not gonna use this estimate fees one. This is to find out what gas fees you'll have to pay or fees you'll have to pay to the contract. For sending your message, we're not gonna use it. We're just gonna put in an amount of Gwei, and I think it should work. Okay. Just cut out some of these comments just to make it neater. Okay. So I'm going to take these out as well. We're not going to do the if statements. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the chain ID in here. Okay. I'm just going to add this in here. So Omni message is a non-blocking LayerZero app. So this is we inherit this so is that we can use the LayerZero functionality. Okay. The string that's in it at the moment is nothing received yet, and it's going to be the same on our Mumbai one. And then when we pass a message over to the Mumbai, it's going to be whatever message we pass. The destination chain. So on our Sepolia contract, the destination chain is going to be the Mumbai one. This is what we do is when we interact with LayerZero, This contract is going to call the LayerZero contract on Sepolia, and it's going to say, this is the chain we're looking to interact with. And that's going to go through the relayer and validator over to the Mumbai testnet. Let me see, we have our constructor here. We have nothing in our constructor. Or nothing to set. Non-blocking LZ receive. That's the receive function on this contract. If we're passing something from Mumbai back, and then send, we're going to send the message over to the Mumbai contract. That's how it calls the LayerZero send for the destination chain. But before we do any of that, we're going to deploy our contract, and the next thing we need to do is set this trust address. So we deploy it to Sepolia, then we call trust address with the contract of the Mumbai contract that we've actually deployed, and that will allow this contract to trust that one and send messages between them. Just a couple of things I'm going to do here. I'm going to change this because it's not picking up the GitHub contracts. I'm going to point it at our lib folder, basically using our remappings. And as you can see, there's an error here. Now the error is because this is actually an ownable app, and we haven't passed anything through to the ownable constructor. The ownable message.sender, then our deployer is going to be the owner as well. And as you can see, the error goes away. We're going to copy this contract entirely. We're going to paste it into Mumbai. Go. And the only thing we're going to change in here, we're going to change the destination chain ID. Change to this. So again, we're on the Mumbai contract, and the destination chain ID is 10161, which from the LayerZero docs is the Sepolia testnet chain ID. So these chain IDs aren't the ones that you would have for in MetaMask, or if you look on Chainlist, they're actually, these are specific to LayerZero, and so you'll have to look them up in the LayerZero docs if you're using different testnets. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a make file to make life easier for ourselves and deploying it. I'm going to paste in a make file that I've actually already written. I'll go through each one as we're doing it, so nothing to worry about. Just the command's handy there for ourselves. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is deploy our LayerZero app to Sepolia. We're going to need both contracts addresses to do this. So we're just going to go make source.env first to pull in our environmental variables. I'm just going to do make deploy LZ app to Sepolia. What this is going to do is going to forge create source folder omni message. Oh, we better change this. Underscore Sepolia. This one should be underscore Mumbai. And we're going to call the forge create source folder omni message underscore Sepolia.sol on the omni message contract using the Sepolia RPC URL because we're interacting with the Sepolia network. My own private key, and then for the constructor arguments, as we've said in here, we pass in on our constructor the LayerZero endpoint address, which is specific to each chain. Again, that is in the documentation, the LayerZero documentation, and I'll put that in the description. So pass that in, and then it's going to be the same for Mumbai, with just the inverse. You're going to be interacting with the Mumbai chain, and you're going to pass the Mumbai LayerZero endpoint. So I will just deploy to Sepolia. Oh. Here we go. Let's deploy to Sepolia at that address. And we're just going to deploy it to the Mumbai. And there we go. I'm just going to paste the two contract addresses into my env file. I have both those contract addresses now set as Sepolia Omni message contract for this one, and the Mumbai Omni message contract for this one here. Yours will obviously be okay. So what we're going to do now is I'll just clear this. So now we're going to do the wiring, the LayerZero wiring. So what we need to do is we need to set the trusted remote on the Sepolia contract as to say that it's the Mumbai Omni message address. So that LayerZero knows where to route our message through to. Okay, so what we're doing is cast send. We're sending to the contract we just deployed to Sepolia. We're calling trust address and we're passing in an address. The address we're passing in is the Mumbai Omni message address. And again, we're interacting with Sepolia and using our own private key. So let's do source env to load those two contracts. We make set trusted remote on Sepolia. Right. There we go. That's done. Now we'll do it on Mumbai contract. There we go. That's done as well. So now we've deployed our contracts and we've wired them up, and we're ready now to send the message between from Sepolia over to Mumbai. So I'm going to just clear the terminal one more time. What we're doing here is send message, cast send the Sepolia address. We're going to hit the send function and we're going to pass in the string. We're just going to say hello. It's on the Sepolia, the private key, and here at the end you'll see value, and we're passing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 way. The reason for that is that we need some gas we need to pass in some message.value to the contract in order for it to process the transaction. Again, this is where the function that we removed, estimate fees, comes in. You could call estimate fees to see how much it would cost to send hello, but we're just going to pass this in, and I think that it should work anyway. Okay, so just make send message from Sepolia to Mumbai. Take a second for the transaction to go through. There we go. It's gone through. Now, it's gone through on the Sepolia chain. We've interacted with our contract. We've passed in our hello. But what it's going to do now is it's actually going to pass it on through the LayerZero messaging cross-chain messaging system and pass it over to Mumbai. So if we were to run this one here, this get message from Mumbai contract, it's too early for it to have fully gone over. Message from Mumbai contract. This is still, if we run this, it's still going to say nothing received yet. There we go. Nothing received yet. Because it's going to take a few minutes for this to fully go through the LayerZero network. Now we are using the testnet, so it's likely slower than the LayerZero mainnet transactions, but it's not going to be as quickly as writing directly to a contract. It is going to take there's going to be some latency between getting it through the network anyway. Just to show you quickly, we have our contract address here. This is the contract address on Sepolia, and as you can see, you'll see the transaction here that we call. So we deployed the contract, we set the trust address, and then we hit send with hello there a short while ago. So we'll click in here. Here's our transaction hash. Just copy that, and if you go to the LayerZero scan, or testnet.layerZeroscan.com is what we're using. We do this, we hit return. You'll see that here's the info about our transaction. It's actually being delivered, which is grand. So that's gone through there. So I know now if I switch back over to VS Code and we look for data on the Mumbai contract, it'll actually say hello now. So I'm just going to do that. So if we just rerun our get message from Mumbai contract function or command, you'll see that hello is indeed written to the data variable on our contract on Mumbai. What we've done is we deployed our Sepolia both our contracts, we wired them up, we passed hello through the send function on the Sepolia contract on the Sepolia testnet. That went through the LayerZero relayers, went over to the Mumbai testnet, and found our contract and has written it to the data variable on that contract.